An aerial drone shot, shaky from the wind, reveals the fierce coastal storm at night. Rain slashes horizontally in sheets. On a lonely cliff, the Shorehaven lighthouse stands defiant, its light ominously dark. Inside the lantern room, the giant, complex Fresnel lens sits dead and dark. Old Man Barrow, his face a map of wrinkles and salt spray memories, stares at it, the storm's fury reflected in his worried eyes. His gnarled hands, knuckles swollen with arthritis, fumble but find purpose. They open a small maintenance panel on the lens housing with a soft creak. Inside the panel, a circuit board, visibly fried. A black scorch mark blooms from a central capacitor. The smell of ozone is almost palpable. His eyes, wide with urgency, scan the cluttered room. The camera follows his gaze. Shelves lined with dusty tools, boxes of spare bulbs, ancient cans of oil. His glance snags on a small, polished wooden box in the corner. A delicate, faded E is inscribed on the lid. Alara's box. A brief, warm flashback. A younger Barrow watching his wife, Alara, reading peacefully in an armchair. The room is cozy, lit only by the soft, warm glow of a battery-powered lantern during a blackout. Back in the present, his eyes snap open with realization. The idea strikes him like lightning. The lantern. He turns sharply, his worn coat flapping, and hurries toward the curving entrance of the iron spiral staircase. A dynamic shot from below as he descends the spiral stairs. His large, frantic shadow dances on the curved stone wall behind him, a giant in motion. He bursts into his dark living quarters. The only light comes from a flash of lightning outside the rain-streaked window, illuminating a simple, solitary room. He drops to his knees, rummaging through a deep, cluttered closet. His hands push aside old coats and fishing gear. His hands emerge, clutching a vintage, red-cased emergency lantern, covered in a thick layer of dust. It's a relic from the 1990s. Extreme close-up on the switch. His thumb presses it with a definitive click. A weak, sickly yellow beam sputters to life, barely illuminating his palm. His face, lit from below by the feeble glow, falls. The disappointment is profound. This isn't the powerful beam a ship needs. He looks up, his eyes tracing the path back up the stairs toward the dark lantern room. Determination hardens his features. He climbs the spiral stairs again, faster this time. The lantern swings in one hand, his other hand grips the cold iron rail for support. He re-enters the lantern room. The windows rattle violently with a gust of wind, emphasizing the chaos outside. He places the lantern on the wooden floor directly in front of the colossal, silent lens. Experimentally, he lifts the lantern and holds it close to the central prism of the lens, peering through. The resulting beam that projects into the night is pathetic, a faint, diffused glow that dissipates instantly in the torrential rain. Close up on his face, sweat beads on his furrowed brow. Despair clouds his eyes as he glances at the old wall clock. His gaze drifts across the room and lands once more on Alara's box. He strides over, opens the lid, and his hand gently lifts out a beautiful, old-fashioned hand mirror with an ornate silver backing. Close up on the mirror's surface, it reflects his tired, desperate eyes and the chaotic storm raging in the window behind him. He tries to clumsily wedge the mirror behind the lantern to reflect more light forward. It slips and clatters on the floor. His eyes dart to a nearby shelf. There, next to a spool of wire, sits a half-used tube of heavy-duty marine epoxy. He squeezes a thick glob of the clear epoxy onto the silver backing of the mirror. With intense concentration, he presses the mirror into place on the back of the lantern casing, holding it steady. His hands tremble slightly. He waits, an agonizing pause. His eyes flick repeatedly to the old wall clock, its loud tick-tock audible over the storm. Extreme close-up of the clock's face, 7:48 p.m. The minute hand seems to jerk forward with a terrifying speed. He tests the setup. The mirror catches the lantern's glow and reflects it forward. The light hitting the lens visibly brightens by a fraction. The new beam is more focused. A narrow cone, but still too weak to punch convincingly through the storm's veil. He looks around again, desperate, searching for anything else that can catch and throw light. His eyes lock onto a small, framed photograph on a side table, a picture of Alara smiling. The glass over the photo catches a glint of light. With reverence, he opens the frame's back, removes the photograph, touching it gently, and extracts the plain glass pane. He positions the clean picture glass at an angle in front of the lantern, creating a second, makeshift reflector. The beam intensifies again. Inside the lens, the light now coalesces into a distinct, sharp ray that visibly cuts a path through the rain outside the window. Distant shot from the perspective of the raging sea. A thin, unwavering needle of white light emerges from the black silhouette of the lighthouse on the cliff. On the deck of the Sea Sprite, a massive wave crashes over the bow, drenching the crew. Men in yellow slickers struggle to secure loose gear. In the wheelhouse, Captain Ray grips the wheel, his face a mask of strain as he stares into the wall of rain on the windshield. Close up on the radar screen, the green sweep reveals the ship's blip perilously close to a cluster of jagged marks labeled Widow's Teeth. A beam of light suddenly cuts across the captain's rain-streaked face. His eyes, squinted in concentration, widen in disbelief. There, hard to starboard, he bellows, his voice raw with hope and command. On deck, a crewman lunges to help turn the massive ship's wheel. Others brace themselves. The entire trawler groans in protest, a deep metallic sound, as it begins a slow, arduous turn. A flash of lightning illuminates the jagged rocks, now frighteningly close to the port side. Back to the lighthouse, a hairline crack appears in the drying epoxy. The heavy silver mirror begins to tilt backward, imperceptibly at first. Barrow sees it. With a lunge, he presses his bare palms flat against the cold metal backing of the mirror, holding it perfectly in place. Extreme close-up on his hands. The cold from the metal seeps into his skin. His knuckles are white from the pressure, the arthritis pain surely flaring. A powerful symbolic shot. The thin, perfect beam of light, created by ingenuity and will, stands defiant against the massive, chaotic darkness of the storm. His face is a portrait of agony and resolve. He grits his teeth, but his gaze never wavers from the beam's path. The Sea Sprite, seen from above, slides past the sharpest of the Widow's Teeth. The clearance is mere meters. White foam explodes against the rocks just below its hull. Captain Ray's face sags with overwhelming relief as the ship's bow finally points into the open, calmer waters of the bay. On the deck, two crew members slump against each other, then break into relieved grins and a brief, back-slapping hug. In the lantern room, the beam flickers, the mirror has slipped a millimeter in his grip. The light wavers. Barrow adjusts his stance, pressing his shoulder and even his forehead against the cold glass of the lens housing for leverage, his hands still glued to the mirror. Extreme close-up of one of his eyes, peering through the lens. In the distance, the tiny running lights of the Sea Sprite move steadily away from the rocks. A wide shot from the lighthouse. The ship's lights diminish as it moves behind the protective arm of the headland and into the safety of the bay. They are safe. A long sigh escapes him. His hands slowly unclench, peeling away from the mirror. They are stiff, red, and trembling. Strength leaves him all at once. He slides down the pedestal of the lens and sinks to the floor, his back against it, utterly spent. From outside, the thin white beam winks out abruptly. Now, only the chaotic flashes of lightning illuminate the lighthouse. Barrow lies asleep on the cold floor. The dead lantern sits beside him. The silver mirror lies on the floor, a clean crack now running through its center. The storm begins to break. The drumming rain on the windows softens to a patter. A breathtaking sunrise. Golden light breaks through the retreating purple and gray clouds, painting the calm sea in hues of orange and pink. A Coast Guard patrol boat, clean and white, cuts through the gentle morning swells toward the lighthouse dock. Two officers in uniform find the door to the lantern room ajar. Inside, they discover Barrow, slowly stirring awake. They help him to his feet with gentle respect. He is weak, unsteady, but a soft, profound smile touches his lips. One officer, hat in hand, speaks to him with awe, recounting the radio call from the Sea Sprite about a ghostly beam that appeared from nowhere. Barrow doesn't look at the officer. His eyes are fixed on Alara's box, then drift to the cracked mirror on the floor. A shaft of morning sunlight streams through the window. It strikes the cracked mirror, which casts a dazzling array of tiny rainbow prisms onto the opposite wall. Final close-up. Barrow's worn hand picks up the broken mirror. He looks into it. For a moment, the reflection seems to superimpose his own weary face with the memory of Alara's gentle smile. Wide, Peaceful final shot. The lighthouse stands tall and silent in the golden morning sun. The ocean is a calm, shimmering blue. The light is off, its duty done. All is finally calm.